Welcome to my channel World Scene News. Subscribe to my channel for news updates all around the world. Few nations walk a tighter rope than Indonesia, a country balancing ambition with caution on the world stage. Geographically and politically wedged between the US and China, Indonesia is now a pivotal player in the 21st century's defining competition, its islands forming a bridge between two global giants. But unlike the pawns of old, Indonesia is leveraging its position, charting its own course amid shifting allegiances and unpredictable tides. On one hand, it's accepted billions from Beijing for infrastructure, roads, railways, and ports that promise to transform the nation's future. On the other, it's offering Washington access to the minerals powering tomorrow's technology, from batteries to microchips, fueling American innovation. This isn't confusion, it's modern statecraft, a deliberate strategy to maximize national advantage. Jakarta knows economic partnerships are tools, not lifelong commitments. Flexibility is its greatest asset in a rapidly changing world. The wisest nations keep their options open, forging alliances that serve their interest today, but never closing the door on tomorrow's opportunities. In this era, countries rich in critical resources like Indonesia hold a powerful hand, shaping the future of entire industries. No longer just suppliers, they're gatekeepers to the industries of tomorrow, from electric vehicles to advanced defense systems, and their decisions ripple outward. Indonesia's moves are sending ripples across the globe, challenging the simple narrative of a world split between America and China, and forcing others to rethink their strategies. Middle powers are gaining agency, refusing to be mere spectators, and instead shaping the rules of engagement. Indonesia's story is a window into the future of global politics, where strategic autonomy and resource diplomacy define national power, and where the next moves will shape the world for decades to come. To understand Indonesia's pivot, we must look at its deep partnership with China. For years, Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative poured billions into Indonesia, funding projects like the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed railway. This was more than just infrastructure. It was a symbol of growing ties and mutual benefit. But these projects come with strings attached: debt, influence, and the perception that Indonesia was drifting into China's orbit. For China, it's about influence and securing markets. For Indonesia, it was pragmatic. Accept the capital, but don't become dependent. The success of Chinese investment made it imperative for Indonesia to seek other partners and assert its independence. Thus, the stage was set for Jakarta to look westward. Rare earth elements, 17 metals with unique properties, are the magic dust of modern technology. They power everything from your smartphone screen to wind turbines and electric vehicles. They're also critical for advanced military hardware, making control over their supply a matter of national security. For decades, China has dominated this market, processing around 90% of the world's rare earths. This near monopoly gave Beijing a powerful lever, one it's used in trade disputes, sending shockwaves through global industries. Western capitals, especially Washington, realized their technological and military edge depended on a supply chain controlled by a rival. This vulnerability became a clear and present danger. The quest for alternative sources of rare earths was no longer optional, it was urgent. Indonesia, with its untapped reserves, suddenly found itself in the spotlight. The world needed new suppliers, and Jakarta was ready to answer the call. As tensions with China grew, Washington's reliance on Chinese rare earths became intolerable. The US scrambled to rebuild domestic mining and processing, but progress was slow and costly. So, America looked abroad, seeking alliances with resource-rich nations to diversify supply chains. The goal: if one source falters, others fill the gap. This led to a flurry of deals with Australia, Japan, and crucially, Indonesia. These agreements aim to secure raw materials and encourage investment in non-Chinese processing facilities. Yet the US often found China had already built deep relationships elsewhere. While China offers long-term loans and infrastructure, the US has focused on immediate needs. Still, the strategic imperative is clear: securing rare earths is as vital now as oil was in the 20th century. For Indonesia, this scramble means leverage. For the US, it's a race against time. Amid this global scramble for critical minerals, Indonesia made its move, stepping confidently onto the world stage. After accepting billions in investment from China, Jakarta proposed a critical minerals trade deal with the US, a bold step that caught the attention of both superpowers. This wasn't betrayal. It was a calculated strategic move designed to maximize Indonesia's influence and options. Indonesia isn't abandoning China, it's adding another powerful partner, ensuring it's never too reliant on one nation and can play both sides to its advantage. By offering its vast mineral wealth to Washington, Indonesia gains leverage with both superpowers, making itself indispensable to their supply chains. It can now negotiate from a position of strength, extracting better terms, more investment, and greater respect on the global stage. The US partnership also offers a path up the value chain. Indonesia wants to be more than just a raw exporter, but a leader in advanced manufacturing. Leaders like President Joko Widodo envision Indonesia as a hub for electric vehicle supply chains, with homegrown industries powering the future. By attracting American investment and technology, Indonesia aims to build its own processing plants and manufacturing facilities, creating jobs and expertise at home. This is resource nationalism in action, turning natural wealth into industrial might, and using it to shape the nation's destiny. Strengthening US ties also hedges against risks with China, reinforcing Indonesia's independent foreign policy and giving it room to maneuver. It's a diplomatic balancing act, and Jakarta is playing it masterfully, securing its future by keeping all its options open. Indonesia's approach is a masterclass in middle power diplomacy. By engaging both China and the US, Jakarta maximizes its autonomy and national interest. From China, it gets rapid infrastructure financing. From the US, access to technology, markets, and a security counterweight. Each relationship is tailored: China for economic development, America for technological and strategic advancement. This isn't a new Cold War binary. Indonesia refuses to choose sides. The balancing act requires constant diplomacy and skill. A misstep could anger either superpower, but the rewards are immense. Indonesia is positioning itself as more than a resource supplier. It's aiming to become an industrial and political force. Its greatest asset? The ability to turn geopolitical competition into national gain. Indonesia's pivot is part of a global race for the minerals powering the green and digital revolutions. The US is signing deals with Australia, Japan, and others to secure supply chains and block Chinese acquisitions. South Korea is emerging as a key player in building non-Chinese supply chains. China, meanwhile, is tightening export controls and investing heavily in resource-rich nations. Temporary truces aside, the rivalry is only intensifying. For Indonesia, this creates both opportunity and risk. Its resources are in high demand, giving it bargaining power, but also placing it at the center of a geopolitical tug-of-war. Surging nickel production has boosted Indonesia's economy, but disrupted global markets, drawing calls for quotas. Navigating this landscape requires deft diplomacy to avoid becoming collateral damage. Indonesia must balance opportunity with caution as the great powers compete. At the heart of Indonesia's bold new strategy is resource nationalism, leveraging its vast mineral wealth to climb the economic ladder and reshape its future. The country is determined to turn its natural resources into a springboard for national development, rather than just a source of raw exports. President Joko Widodo's ambitious downstreaming policy bans exports of unprocessed ores, forcing foreign companies to invest in local processing facilities. This move is designed to ensure that more of the value chain stays within Indonesia's borders, rather than being shipped overseas. The message is clear: if you want access to our resources, you must help build our industries and create jobs here. This approach creates thousands of new jobs, encourages technology transfer, and is transforming Indonesia from a simple raw exporter into a rising industrial powerhouse with a skilled workforce. The proposed U.S. mineral deal isn't just about securing raw materials, it's an invitation for America to join Indonesia's ambitious industrial vision and become a partner in its economic transformation. America gains a secure, non-Chinese source of processed minerals for its industries. Indonesia receives investment, technology, and a stronger foothold in the global EV and tech ecosystem. The path forward isn't easy. Export bans can deter some investors and create short-term economic pain. As industries adjust to new rules and expectations, but the potential payoff is transformative, breaking the so-called resource curse and achieving true economic sovereignty for Indonesia's people. If successful, Indonesia could become a model for other developing nations seeking to harness their resources for long-term prosperity and independence. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy. The stakes are enormous, with the potential to reshape not just Indonesia, but the global supply chain. But so is the prize: true economic transformation and a new place for Indonesia on the world stage. Indonesia's choices will echo far beyond its shores. Its deft navigation of US-China rivalry offers a blueprint for other nations seeking autonomy in a polarized world. Engaging with China without sacrificing independence, partnering with the US without rigid alliances, this third way could reshape geopolitics. If Indonesia's downstreaming succeeds, it could break China's grip on rare earth processing and diversify global supply chains. A new Southeast Asian processing hub would be a seismic shift in the industrial landscape. The process won't be easy. Chinese firms are entrenched and markets remain opaque, but the momentum for change is real, driven by US political will and Indonesia's ambition. Ultimately, Indonesia's story is one of agency, middle powers shaping their destinies and the world's future. By leveraging its resources and position, Indonesia is helping define new rules for trade, technology, and power. The world should watch closely.